Hi, this is Rebecca Martinez from artscalifornia.net, and today I am fortunate enough to be meeting with Janis Wikoff, the exiting executive director of the Auburn State Theater. We're standing outside of the theater, which has been undergoing extensive renovations. Already looks beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll be taking a tour of the theater.
Thank you so much for coming. It's my pleasure to be able to show you the theater and talk with you, and I appreciate the work you've been doing in the community over the years. Yes.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
We're going to miss you.
Oh, well, I'll still be around.
Good.
Talk the story about the balcony here.
Right. So here we are. We're standing in this office, and this building, as we do this tour, it's important to remember that this building is a story of demolition and rebuilding in great part. Because the steps that you walked up are the original steps to the balcony. And so where we are right now in this office, it would have been the balcony.
Right.
Balcony.
Was it graduated, or just we don't know?
I don't know.
But that wall wasn't there.
Right. This wall wasn't here.
Right.
And then if you look this way. This is outside wall here. This is nice and cold. This is the outside wall. Poured cement. This is drywall, but this is poured cement, and it looks the same if we were to go across the landing to one of the offices over there. It would be the same thing. These pillars go floor to ceiling.
Wow.
That's a whole other part of the puzzle.
Right.
Follow the
pillars.
The pilaster, I guess it's technically called.
Okay, nice.
Shall we head downstairs?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we could interrupt everybody's business day and go into their offices, because it's pretty interesting here. Let's just go this way. I mean, if you look here, so this part was always here. This office was always here, but see, they overlook the marquee.
Yeah.
But this office was here, and those offices were here. This is original. Those offices, this one has been split in two, but those, see, and that's the office going across here.
Yeah.
And then here. This was an original office also. So now we're on the balcony. So when you think about it, if these were the balcony steps, going this way, going that way, as we were in the office, this is balcony out here.
Right.
All this open space is balcony.
And it seems like there's a pretty interesting collection of businesses here now.
Yes, absolutely. There's an engineering company. There's a home loan company, a chiropractor, a business consulting company. Downstairs is the Auburn Symphony, K-High Radio, a hair salon, and us, the State Theater.
All right.
Here, the marquee room, because that will further explain what we were just talking about. I think it's going to be important to state that we're doing this tour during the shutdown.
Yeah. We will.
Because things look a little piled up and not as maybe attractive as they would if this was during times that we were open.
Because I've been here when this room's been just packed.
Right, with
just
people.
packed.
Right.
because you guys have the best popcorn in the area.
We do.
Absolute best popcorn made with coconut oil with just the
Yeah.
right amount of salt and freshly popped.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very good. So to keep with the theme of the pilasters, so this, it's so hard to visualize, but so this was wall-to-wall theater too. So even though we're standing on a flat floor, if we look out there, the floor is graded, so we know that those were seats.
Yeah.
So this is seating where we are right now.
Right.
This is seating. And then see, here's that outside wall.
The pilaster.
Yeah, there's
Yep.
the outside wall.
Uh-huh.
So this was all seating, but now it's our concessions area.
Excellent.
Yeah. And there are several ways to set up this room, and we've had sold out shows with lots of people circling through here, getting popcorn and wine and, and cookies and specialty cocktails and candy, lots of kids shows where we can't make popcorn fast enough. In fact, the year, 2019, when we had, or maybe it was only 2020 when we had Mario, the magician here, whose age group that he focuses upon is like 4 to 6 year olds.
How fun.
We could not keep up with the popcorn, could not make it fast enough. We had people waiting. I was having to run around with trays, delivering the popcorn, and parents were screaming as much as their kids were. They were so excited. So I look forward to having that guy back.
Yeah. And that kind of brings up one of my thoughts about you, because technically you are the executive director here, aren't you?
Yes, I have been. Now someone else is, but I have been. That has been my role.
As executive director, though, I have seen you wear many, many hats.
Yes.
Here. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I was mentioning to you that one of my favorite is when you announce the shows.
Yes, I love doing that. I do love
You always
doing
look
that.
so coiffed and polished and poised.
Yes. Well, that's what happens when you walk up there. That few minutes you're walking up, everything comes together. Because I spend a lot of time behind the counter here with the cash register also, which is one of my other favorite things to do, is to do quick math.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
You just
good.
add 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and 3.
All right.
And you end up with whatever it is, 18 or 21.
There are a lot of locals who just love your beer selection here.
Yes.
Yes, so you've got Crooked Lane, which is out of Auburn,
Right. And Loomis Basin.
right, out of Loomis. Knee Deep, which is also right over in Auburn. Alehouse, you've got all local brews.
Yes.
Nice.
And Knee Deep, and then we have had Moonraker.
Yeah.
And but these are the standard ones that we always have. Same thing with our wine selection. We try to stay right here in Placer County, and I think a little bit. We may have gotten a couple things from Amador at one time, but we try to stay right around here.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And all of our cookies and baked goods come from Baker and Cake Maker across the street. So that's really fun. Those are popular. Oatmeal
delicious,
cookies.
yeah.
You can't wait to get an oatmeal cookie. And coffee and tea, and that's
And this
pretty
is
much
really
it.
nice how you've got your sponsors featured on
Yes.
your little mini marquee here.
Yes. So every place you go, if you're in the theater, you see them on the big screen or in here. And then we also have a screen that just faces out into the entry.
Right, I did see
So-
that. And do you accept advertising? Can people advertise here?
They can,
Yeah.
and we've done a little bit of it, not very much, because to advertise is almost the same price as becoming a sponsor. So we try to encourage people to become sponsors, actually, because it's better for them in the long run. They receive more benefits. Some people don't need that though. They're looking for something very specific for a short period of time, and yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
So,
So here we are, we're walking down. So someday there will be future expansion out here.
Oh.
I'm sure, because when you think about it, if you've been here when it's sold out, this is just packed with people.
Yeah, it is.
Packed. Trying to go here, trying to buy merchandise. We have lavatories on both sides. So we recognize that the public would be much more comfortable if this was open. So think about, like, if you could just be out here and then just walk right in here and walk right in here, and that we would expand the facilities as well to make them more modern, and this is nothing that we're about to do right now or in 2021 even, but it is definitely something that's discussed to just make this much more pleasant. And when you're waiting for a show, you're not in the cold outside or in weather that's 108 degrees.
Yeah.
So we recognize that the building has changed many times and it will continue to change. That's why I say it's kind of a story of demolition and reconstruction.
Like a courtyard feel.
Yes, right. Yeah, because it would be really, really nice if you could just be in open space and go sit down.
Yeah, like a lounge.
Yeah, more of a lounge.
Yeah.
Right, lounge. I love that idea. I love the idea of a lounge. So, but we can go in. The box office is back there. That would allow us also to expand the box office.
Right.
I mean, people who want to come to see shows, they're happy to come to anything.
Well, this is the place to be seen. You always run into a friend
Yes.
when you're out here milling around.
Yes.
You're going to run into your friends.
Yes,
So, yeah.
absolutely. And run into your friends and family, without a doubt. I run into people that I haven't seen in years, or someone who will say, "Do you remember me?" And I'll think, "No," but then yes, I do. As soon as we start talking.
And this area is usually also packed.
It's
and this is where
packed.
the merch
Yeah,
happens.
Right. Yeah, it's packed, and people want to converse and continue to enjoy being with their friends and run into people. And even during Wild and Scenic Film Festival that Protect American River Canyon presents, we often are serving sort of grab and go little dinners out here. And so that is just another aspect, another line that's wiggling its way through the crowds of people. But that's good, it shows that you're busy.
Yeah, it is. It is good.
But anyway, so here's the lobby, and the lobby has been this way since the 80s, I believe, when the renovation took place to create all the offices upstairs and make the theater smaller. And at that time, the theater was still large, and then eventually it was split. And there was a woman here recently who worked here in the 70s, and boy, do I wish I would have spent more time with her, because she had a lot of information that I think is kind of closing in some of the gaps of information. But anyway, this is the current lobby, and we can go into the theater.
Yeah, let's go into the theater.
We have to turn the lights on, so there's time for that transition, but you see we're still going down, down. So this too, all theater, wall to wall.
Room.
The sink room, yep.
Oh, because it has sinks in it.
Yep. And then this goes up to the projection room. So this goes up to the projection room. And even though we know from what we were talking about earlier, the projection room was way out here, Because if you remember,
Right.
when we were in my office, that was the balcony.
Right.
So we know the projection room was up there. So this is the halfway projection room. Okay.
Are we going up?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Why not? Why not? We might as well. So when we first opened in 2010 in this era of the building, these were our projectors, the 35 millimeter changeover projectors, and they still operate, and there are not that many theaters in California that still have operational 35 millimeter changeovers.
Wow.
So, and this is how we operated when we first opened. A gentleman, lifelong projectionist, installed them and taught a group of volunteers how to run them. And that was how we operated for quite a while until we got a digital projector, and now we have a more upgraded digital projector, which we have not yet, we've barely used because the shutdown occurred
Right after you
right after we had it in place. And this is my favorite sign. Do not move these instruments without approval from Janis. I don't know exactly when that was put up here, but I love that idea that I somehow am approving moving any of these pieces of equipment.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Yeah.
Well, this is really wonderful because it looks like you have options to show a huge historical range of
Yes.
videos or
Yeah,
films.
and film.
Yeah.
Right, and luckily we were still able to show film. Film, you can still show film, but it's obviously harder to get, and it's much more expensive to ship and all of that. But we did. I mean, here are the cases where you would put all the film ready to go, and yeah, we have a lot of cool pictures. Yeah, so it's interesting to think that originally this was 1,370 some seats.
Oh, wow.
So that's how many seats there were. This is 350. And when this renovation that shortened the lobby and made the breezeway and all that, when that first happened, the theater had 510 seats because it didn't have the sound booth. The seats were closer together, and also it didn't have the extension on the stage. So there were more seats at that point.
But that extension on the stage is what allows you to have your live
Yes.
performances,
Yes.
which is really
Right,
valuable.
right. So it's a different time, once again, different time. Back then it was only a movie theater. And then in between then and now is when the theater was split in two, and there were 130 or so seats on that side and 80 some or 70 some on this side. So when I started working here, that is the way it was.
And when was that?
Well, I was a volunteer in 2008.
Okay.
In 2007 a little bit, but really in 2008. And then I came on staff in 2009. But that was the whole project.
What is this area here?
Okay, so that's the tech booth. That is the tech booth, and that is the control center for audio mixing and all the music mixing, the projection of the films, all the lighting. That's the booth. Like right now, we are working toward investing in more cameras and things like that, so we can we're recording a concert actually this month that then we're going to broadcast in April, first time doing that. So we're hoping we'll be able to do more of that even when we're open. We have a lot of senior citizens that come here, for instance, specifically to plays and certain types of music. And I think there are probably many senior citizens back at the residential centers who aren't coming to this, but they would still enjoy it. So if there's a way we can do that, access that, I think that would be a real service we would provide.
Yeah.
The seats came from Grauman's Chinese Theater.
The seats are so beautiful.
So
That was a find.
that was a find. Our president at the time found the seats through a broker. So here we are. We have storage underneath the stage. And what do we present? We present music, theater. This is the location where other organizations present their work, other local nonprofit theater groups, other vocal organizations, small orchestras. There have been many, many, many events here that are presented by other people. So, and that was always one of the goals that I learned about when I first got involved here, was that it needed to be a place for the community to use, as well as a center for performing arts and film. And I think that that's been achieved. And
I think so.
it will
Yeah.
continue, I imagine. But right here, during some of the plays and musicals, this is where there can be a small band here. All of this is removable, and there's a platform that comes out over here. And so there can be a small band here. Come on back. And then the organization who did the renovation, Auburn State Theater is the name of the nonprofit organization for whom I work. And this was all added.
It's a wonderful addition.
Yeah, and they recreated the curved walls, which were here originally, and opened up the original ceiling. And it's a very wide stage, which is great. And it's a wonderful stage to perform on, everyone tells us. And also, it's wonderful for the audience. Here, this is where our amazing grand piano is, in this big temperature-controlled box.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, that was a gift from a member of the community, and it is one of the great assets of the building. And any performer who plays it mentions the piano.
So I saw Bob Milne
Oh, yeah,
here,
yeah.
because he comes back every year,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
he hasn't been here for a while, but yes.
Does he bring his own piano, or does he use that piano?
He uses that one. Yeah.
So he's
He's amazing.
fire
Yes.
on the piano.
Yes, quite amazing, quite
Yeah.
amazing. So the other thing we invest in is lighting equipment. We're always expanding what we can do with better lighting.
I imagine this, all of the lights and everything can really suck down the electricity. Is there a pretty good utility bill here when you're open?
And even when we're closed.
Oh, really?
Even when we're closed. But the LED lights don't take as much electricity. But yes, the building uses a lot of power, and
Well, that's what you need.
yeah.
Yeah.
People have great stories about either something they did here or something they observed here. Or when I first started working here, this was really like the mud room.
The bowels.
But it's very nice now. It's very comfortable. It's entertainers really feel good when they're down here. And it did, in origin, have little tiny dressing rooms, which were really, really common for old theaters like this. Little tiny dressing rooms, and I've heard mixed information about vaudeville. I've heard there was vaudeville here. I've heard that there was never vaudeville here. I know there were some types of performances here, so there were little dressing areas, and then one of the local citizens told me that this is also where their uniforms were for usherette uniforms and usher uniforms and all of that, and that there was storage down here and things. But when the renovation was taking place, a lot of work went into this area, and there's still work to do down here, but that's kind of the name of the game. Volunteers and donors, I always say, walk hand in hand in creating the backbone of a nonprofit organization like this, because you need the programming, you need the content, but you need volunteers, you need dedicated staff, but you really need volunteers who really build a lot of enthusiasm around a community event center like this. And then, of course, donors, because they close the gap, because nonprofit organizations are just that. They're nonprofit organizations. And so to keep doing the work, it's a good partnership with donors too, really. I mean, you can really have fun with that relationship with community members who are donors and support them and their businesses as well.